Welcome to the deep dive. Ever feel like you're spending way more time cleaning up marketing spreadsheets than actually using the data?
Or maybe looking at lead numbers and just wondering
Yeah,
if they're really accurate.
exactly. Or those campaign reports seem, I don't know, a bit too good to be true sometimes.
Yeah, those are classic symptoms.
Well, if any of that rings a bell, you've landed in the right place.
Hmm.
Today, we're diving into something crucial for B2B marketing ops: data governance.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission here is pretty simple, really. We want to cut through the jargon and figure out what data governance in marketing actually is.
And importantly, why it's absolutely vital for growth.
Right. And how you can start building a strategy that, actually scales with your business. Think of this as your shortcut to getting smart on this topic.
That's a great way to put it. Your marketing data. It's either fuel or sludge, right? Good governance makes it that high-octane fuel pushing you forward.
And bad data.
Well, that's the sludge. It gums everything up. Inefficient, unreliable, and it can actually hurt your efforts. So today is about making sure your data is an asset, not some hidden liability dragging you down.
Okay, let's unpack data governance then. It sounds a bit corporate, maybe? Abstract. What does it actually mean day to day for someone in marketing ops?
Yeah, it can sound daunting, but at its core, it's simply about setting up the rules of the road. The policies, the processes, the standards, all designed to make sure your marketing data stays accurate, secure, and managed consistently.
Across all your systems.
Across everything. We're talking contact info, company data, how you track campaigns, form submissions, the whole lot.
So it's definitely not just a one-off data cleanup blitz.
Not at all. That's reactive. Data governance is proactive. It's about preventing the mess in the first place.
Like setting rules up front.
Exactly. Like standardizing how you enter a company name in your CRM. Is it Acme Corp, Acme, or ACME? Sounds small, but it matters. It also covers things like data privacy compliance, GDPR, CCPA, making sure you're handling data legally.
Those are huge now.
They are. And defining how your different tools, like your marketing automation and CRM, talk to each other. Setting rules for those integrations. Plus, who gets to see and change what data access controls. And keeping track of changes. Audit logs.
Got it. So the big takeaway here is prevention over cure. Setting the foundation right. Now, for you listening, why should this be top of mind? Why is data governance so critical for B2B success?
Well, let's start with campaigns and ROI, obviously. If your data is inconsistent or incomplete, your segmentation tanks.
Meaning you're hitting the wrong people.
Or missing the right ones entirely. Bad data means wasted ad spend, lower engagement, strong governance. That means you're targeting precisely. Better engagement, much better ROI. Clean data equals focused campaigns. That's the key.
That makes total sense. Targeting is everything.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
what about just understanding performance? Reporting.
Huge impact there, too. Think about your metrics. Attribution, funnel velocity, MQL to SQL rates.
The stuff you rely on to make decisions.
Right. But those numbers are only as trustworthy as the data underneath them. If the underlying data is messy, your reports are basically fiction.
Ouch.
Yeah. Good data governance ensures your dashboards actually reflect reality. You can trust the numbers you see. Reliable reporting needs reliable data. Simple as that.
So it builds confidence in your strategy. Okay, what about that classic tension? Marketing versus sales. How does data fit in?
Oh, it's often right at the center of the friction. If marketing defines a qualified lead one way and sales sees it differently.
You get distrust. Sales complains about lead quality.
Exactly. Marketing feels like their work isn't valued. A lack of shared data standards fuels this. Governance forces you to create those shared definitions, a single source of truth for customer data.
So everyone's reading from the same playbook.
Precisely. It builds alignment, builds trust. That shared understanding is crucial.
Okay, and you mentioned privacy regulations earlier. Let's touch on that again. GDPR, CCPA.
Right. This isn't just about making marketing work better. It's about protecting the business. Legally, ethically.
The stakes are high.
Very high. These laws have strict rules about consent, data handling, security. Poor governance puts you at risk of big fines, lawsuits, and serious damage to your brand reputation.
So governance helps you stay compliant.
Absolutely. It gives you control, helps you prove your meeting requirements. It's fundamental risk management in today's world.
Okay, the why is crystal clear. Better campaigns, trusted reports, sales alignment, compliance.
Yeah.
But implementing this sounds challenging. What trips teams up? What are the common pitfalls?
Oh, there are definitely a few common ones. Data silos are huge. Customer info stuck in different systems, CRM, marketing platform, support tools, none of them quite matching up.
Different field names, different formats.
Exactly. Trying to get a single view of the customer becomes a nightmare.
I can imagine. What else?
Lack of documentation is another big one. Just no clear rules written down. Who owns what data? What are the standards for keeping it clean? What does this specific field even mean? Without that documentation, consistency just evaporates, especially as you grow.
And it needs buy-in, right? Not just marketing.
Absolutely. Insufficient training or adoption across departments is a killer. If sales isn't following the rules or finance has its own way of tracking things, the whole system breaks down. It needs to be an organizational effort.
Makes sense. It can't live in a vacuum.
Right. And then there's relying too much on manual cleanup, exporting spreadsheets, VLO ETs.
The pain is real.
It is. It's not scalable. It takes people away from more strategic work. And finally, just tech stack sprawl. Too many tools added without clear rules on how they integrate and how data flows between them, that creates chaos.
And the result of all these pitfalls.
Disjointed systems, zero trust in reports, campaign delays. It really hampers everything.
Okay, enough problems. Let's talk solutions.
Yeah.
How do you actually build a data governance framework that works? Something scalable.
Step one is clear ownership. You have to designate someone or a specific team, often it sits in MOPs or RevOps, who is responsible.
The go-to person.
Exactly. Responsible for setting standards, doing audits, fixing issues. Accountability is key. Someone needs to own the health of the data.
Okay, owner identified. What's next?
Define and document your standards. This is crucial. Every important field, every life cycle stage, every record type needs a clearly defined format and purpose.
Like that company name example.
Precisely. And you need to capture this in what some call a living data dictionary, a central place for all the rules. Make it easy to find and easy to understand for everyone.
A data dictionary. Sounds maybe a bit dry. How do you make sure people actually follow it?
That's where automation is your friend. Automate data hygiene as much as you possibly can.
Like using tools?
Yes. Tools to enforce naming conventions, automatically spot and merge duplicates, standardize state abbreviations or job titles. The more you automate enforcement, the less you rely on people remembering the rules. Automation equals scalability.
Okay, automation helps enforce the rules. How do you weave this into the day-to-day? Into running campaigns?
You have to integrate governance into your actual workflows. Make data checks part of the process.
An example.
Like having a pre-launch checklist for every campaign that includes list QA, verifying the data quality before you hit send. Or when you build a new landing page form, ensuring those fields map correctly back to your data dictionary standards.
Building good habits, essentially.
Exactly. Make it routine. And finally, remember, it's not set it and forget it.
It needs ongoing attention.
Constant monitoring, auditing, and evolution. Regularly check how fields are being used, who has access to what, how your integrations are performing, your business changes, tech changes, so your rules might need to adapt too. It's continuous improvement.
This sounds like it really benefits from specific expertise. I mean, are there folks who specialize in helping companies set this up?
Oh, absolutely. There are teams out there like CI Digital, they're part of Cyberspring, who focus specifically on this for B2B orgs.
What kind of things do they do?
They can come in and audit your existing data mess, help clean it up, sure, but more strategically, they help build those scalable governance frameworks we've been talking about.
Setting up the rules and processes.
Right, and implementing the tech integrations correctly with validation built in. Getting sales, marketing, everyone aligned on the same data processes. And of course, ensuring you're compliant with things like GDPR.
So they help make data a strategic asset.
That's the core idea. It's not just back-end plumbing, it's a growth enabler.
It really drives home the point that investing in data governance isn't just about fixing problems, is it? It's a strategic imperative.
It really is. Think about it. Even the best marketing strategy will stumble without solid data governance underneath. You can't automate effectively if you don't trust the data.
Personalization fails without good segmentation.
Which needs clean data. And scaling your whole marketing operation. Forget it if your systems are disconnected and your data's a mess.
So if someone listening is thinking, okay, my data probably needs some work, what's a good first step they could take?
Well, one practical step is to investigate how an expert team like CI Digital at Cyberspring could help. They could assess where you are now and help map out a plan to build that trustworthy, scalable system focused on real impact.
Okay, so we've really dug into data governance in marketing operations today. Hopefully for you listening, this has made it clear what it involves, why it's so incredibly important, and maybe given you some ideas on how to build a strategy that lasts.
Yeah, it's definitely not just some IT task. It's fundamental to modern B2B marketing.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Imagine having complete trust in your marketing data, total clarity. What could you achieve then?
What new strategies could you unlock? What insights are hiding in there right now? Maybe think about one small, concrete thing you could do this week to start improving data governance in your world. Even a tiny step forward can make a big difference down the line.